live without the caboose, but the train keeps it running. You know what I'm saying?
Some would say even faster than normal.
When you think about it, the caboose is just a drag on anything, right?
It's dead weight.
It's dead weight.
Yes.
So when you take the caboose off, the train probably operates more efficiently, right?
It functions quicker, faster, more efficient, 100%. No doubt.
What do you guys think?
What is the purpose of a caboose?
Dude, it was important back in the early 1900s. It's just attached now. It's just like sentimental value.
Is it? I think it's just a blinking light bulb now. I don't even think they have a train car.
So it's basically the only reason it's there is to protect you from getting rear-ended. And if you do get rear-ended, it protects the rest of the train, which is really where the important stuff is.
Well, if you're sitting at tracks and you see the caboose, a smile comes across your face because you know you're finally going to get through the actual intersection that you're stuck at for a half an hour.
So
poor Kevin.
So basically we're saying we're going to be a better podcast without Kevin, more efficient, but it could be more dangerous because that's the only purpose of the caboose is to protect the rest of the train.
Well, let's see how this plays out.
Thanks for listening to LockPod, everybody. This is your relief from crappy radio, and we are free of charge. If you listen to LockPod, you save $72 a year. I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't even know that.
I know.
That's amazing.
That's good. You save $72 a year on average. This is like a lot of studies have been done to suggest listening to LockPod lengthens your life.
I know you wouldn't lead me down the wrong path, so I know this is all truth.
Tom, and you made some really good points. That said, I think the least our listeners could do is share the stream if you want. Share it. Share it on your feed.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think there's some type of financial reward John offers to everybody that shares the stream.
Yeah, it won't be me offering a gift card because we know that historically
they'll never get it.
That hasn't happened.
So hold it. Tell me about this gift card because I heard about this. I listen to every episode so they get mixed up. I know you only pop in and out every once in a while.
That's the problem.
You probably still call it LOCPOD.
That's Jeff. That was not me. That was my partner in crime that day. But yeah, I did offer a gift card for somebody in a competition or a trivia question or something. I have to get it done. I will get it done. Mark that down.
Really? When was this?
It was literally last year.
Yeah. It was like 2
and God bless her, she still listens to the show.
Who is it?
And she still thinks that Phil's going to give her a gift card.
No, really? It's coming.
If you're in the chat, person who Phil owes a gift card, just talk about it here.
There's going to be like 30 people saying that.
Phil's promised a lot of Freddy's Steakhouse gift cards to people.
Kelly, we're going to take a home equity line of credit out to pay off all the gift cards that people say I owe them.
Phil said he wouldn't steer us wrong, and yet he gives us one freaking lock of the week on this last show. Just one. By the way, we didn't even ask him because we know, like for those of you, season 1 and 2, Phil made a mockery of the lock of the week system by literally every week giving us a lock of the week that lost every week. Like literally. I don't think you won one time in 10 tries.
I was thinking we could save some time and just skip the NFL pick segment that we were talking about.
You brought it up.
Oh.
We didn't ask you, hey, Phil, because like it was such an abomination last year, Phil. You you really messed it up bad last year. So you come on the show. We're talking about other things, the foot golf championship. You are the foot golf champ.
I am.
And you volunteered the stupid pick of the week. And as soon as it came out of your mouth, I was like, that's wrong. Right? Do you remember this, guys?
It was. You were like Titans -3.
Phil says, take out a mortgage. He offers this. We didn't ask him. Take out a mortgage. This is easy money. The Titans over the Cardinals. And I'm like, what? Like the Cardinals are awesome. They played great last year, and I don't think they got worse over they're a young, aggressive team, and the Titans were favored by 3. Cardinals blew them out, Phil.
They did.
By like 15 points or something, right? Wasn't it?
Some would say that Vegas has me on their payroll. Well, and they're making a lot more money because of me.
Well, I'm happy to say this, Phil.
Yep.
I bet $150 as soon as I heard this. Mm-hmm. And that's a big bet for me. I don't go that big.
Yeah.
But I was like, I knew your record was perfect. So I bet $150 on a 2-way parlay. I took the Cardinals and the over just because of you. Yeah. Literally, like as soon as you said it, I said Phil loses every week. So like I know the Cardinals are going to win, and then I was like Cardinals Titans, it'll be the over. I made $500 off of you.
You know this is hurting just a little bit inside though. Right?
I mean, this is a true story. I'll send you the picture of that.
I believe you. I told you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You guys are all welcome out there. Just bet the opposite of what I give you, and you're going to be good.
I don't make anything on the pod, but listening to your bets, I make a lot. So it makes it worth the pod makes it worth it financially.
So to add to this, Phil sends out a text to John Kennedy, Aku, and I. It says, I will bet you guys $50 each. So you're at $150 right there that Titans win. Essentially, we all said we will take that bet.
Like as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Like,
It was his worst pick ever.
I'm like, what are you staring at your phones, waiting for me to challenge you?
I think honestly, you're doing this on purpose, right? Please.
But why would you lose money on
I'm
it?
not.
It feels like you have a problem.
Well, he does. He does.
That's probably fair.
Right.
I only bet, to be fair, this is the truth. I bet $30 on Tennessee, so I didn't lose a lot of money on them. But there is something to the fact that I cannot make a good NFL pick.
I mean, literally, you have like 12 games. You could just pick one
Just
of the,
any of
just
them.
a lock. You don't bet against the Bears. Like you come out against the Bears, you're going to be often
That's true.
more right than wrong.
Yeah.
But you're like literally every week pick a wrong pick. It's amazing to me.
This whole year, I'm just going to, whoever's playing the Lions, I'm just going to take the opposite team. I don't care what the line is and just run with it. Because you know what? Lindsay, right away, if you recall, she's like, I'll take Arizona.
She did.
And so Lindsay's
And she said, what sport are we talking again?
Right.
Because she already knew. Phil takes this, I take this, I win every time.
She's
Lindsay's
like, Arizona hits a lot of grand slams, and because of that, I will take them.
Like, think about this, Phil. Lindsay picking teams based on the colors of their jerseys is a better method than yours.
This is rough.
John. She's like way better than Phil too. It's not even a close. It's not like she's got a couple more.
on here.
She's way better than Phil. It is.
Lindsay was 10-4. Phil was 4-10.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of bad bets.
Lindsay said when she's like knows so little about this, she goes, "I'm 10-4." She's like,
It's incredible.
love my daughter.
Do you only bet on football, like NFL?
What the hell is this?
He does only bet on football. Phil.
This is BS.
Does that look familiar, John? Speaking of bad bets,
that
does
is
that?
nice.
I just wanted to bring it in for the studio for everyone.
A trophy that's not rightfully yours? Yes, I see you brought that.
So-
Wait, you guys stole the ball?
No, they
No.
bought it for $5.
It's the foot golf trophy.
It's the foot golf championship. Oh, you got to leave that there.
Yeah,
Phil.
put it back up
Yeah,
there.
it'll take John out of his game the rest of the show. You know,
I just don't want to have the Bud Light. They're not paying for the sponsorships. You know what I mean?
just don't block my shot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
Yeah, let me
The
see
crowd.
that.
Yeah.
So,
You're
Jill,
good.
after I won the foot golf, we literally went into the pro shop and said, "Sir," it was Jeff Long. He's like, "My buddy just won $1,000 playing foot golf. Can we buy this ball?" And he gave like a 10-minute speech, like trying to convince this guy. And the guy's like, "Just give me $5."
For wasting my time, not for the ball.
That actually bears a striking resemblance to the World Cup trophy.
Look at that.
Really?
Yeah.
Here, let me.
It does.
let
Google
me
That
get
was made by a restaurant in French Lick. This whole idea was their concept.
Look how I secretly got you guys off of NFL picks. That's all it took. All I had to do is bring the trophy. I knew what I was doing.
Good job,
I
Phil.
briefly went to the Lindsay cam. I thought you were going to show it on the.
No, I would
camera.
never do that.
Sorry.
So anyway, why don't we pay some bills, and then we'll jump into the show. We got a good show today. We got we're going to talk some Valpo.
What happened in Valpo?
Valpo National News, right?
What is going on in that damn town?
Never a good sign when you're on national news.
City Hammond yesterday initially approved $39 million in new spending. We're going to quickly cover that and talk a little bit of American Rescue Plan. And then last but not least is the gift that keeps on giving. Todd Rokita does some stupid shit again. And it just like gives us material to talk about. And I love Todd Rokita for that. Thank you, Todd.
I just said there should be a lock pod that just talks about all the stupid shit that Todd Rokita says and does.
It would fill hours of podcast space.
It really would.
Like literally, you walk in here and you're like, I don't know what to do. And then you're like, what stupid shit has Todd Rokita done? Then you look at it, you're like, I could talk all day now.
When you read it and it says Munster, like Munster people, when you see Munster native, do you cringe?
I know.
No, he's not really from here. He's somewhere else.
He's like, he's lived in Indy. He had a chance to move back to Munster and he passed it up. So like, this is, you know how much of an asshole Todd Rokita is?
How much?
Okay, how much? Okay, let me tell you, Jill. You know we're doing gerrymandering right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Todd Rokita is a Republican. Indiana is a Republican state. And Indiana Republicans are in charge of drawing the maps. I'm talking 10 years ago. And he's a congressman, right? How much of an asshole is Todd Rokita? He's such an asshole that his own party drew him out of his district 10 years ago. 10 years ago, they drew him out of his district. That's how much of an asshole Todd Rokita is.
That's a bad sign.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, this should be a bit. How much of an asshole is Todd Rokita? He's so bad, his own party drew him out of his district. And by the way, he stayed where I think he moved into the new district and continued as congressman.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. He had to change houses, though.
He should have taken a hint, though, right? If they're doing that to him.
If your own party is drawing you out of your district, you got issues, man. Todd, you got issues, buddy. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone's picking on Todd. Todd, I'm with you today, man. I just want you to know that.
Until you read this third story, John.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Thank you, Todd, though, for helping power LockPod with great,
Oh,
amazing
that
content.
lead-in.
Speaking of
Good
powering
lead-in.
Lockpod, that was great lead-in.
Powering America is Lockpod's premier sponsor. Season 4 is powered by our premier sponsor, Powering America. With the explosive growth of renewable energy in America Day, call Powering America to meet your needs for renewable energy in your home or office, including electric vehicle charges and solar power solutions. Trust the electrical professionals of Powering America. Visit poweringnorthwestindiana.org. That's Powering Northwest, spelled out, Indiana, spelled out, .org.
That's a long website.
Yeah.
Calumet Brewery. Calumet Brewery wants to tell you about Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, all while being one of the fastest growing brands in the region. Or try Ultra Pure Gold, an organic light lager with only 2.5 carbs and 85 calories brewed for your healthy lifestyle. Enter to win a Michelob Ultra golf bag through calbrew.com. Check out Calumet Brewery's Facebook page for details.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia.
¡Yeehaw!
De todo corazón.
Please tell me you heard that, Chad, because I got here early to make sure that shit worked.
Came through the headphones.
It was dead silence last time.
It was playing in the
hilarious.
headphones last time, though.
It was playing in the
We were
headphones
sitting
last
there,
time.
like, rocking out, and everybody else was like, what the hell's going on with the pod?
I feel sorry.
Silence for a minute.
I feel sorry for Misprint. They don't have a song to
We're
go
working
along
on
with
it.
that.
We're
Okay.
working.
on it.
Eli, misprint.
There you go.
That's what we did last time. We just said, Eli, we need a song for Tortillas Nuevo Leon.
Just showed up. He just
Dude,
sent it through email.
The next show we had it, and it's a classic. So Eli, misprint. Let's
Okay.
go. Let's go. We'll buy that one for $200 also.
That would be, oh my God, can you imagine how funny that would be?
Misprint?
Like a, what? Like a song about printing stuff? It's so good. Eli, come on.
Come on,
like
Eli.
a rap one, like a
Yeah.
Fresh Prince.
I like
Yeah.
that. I like that, like a rap.
I love it.
But I don't know if that's Eli's expertise.
That could be your shtick, by the
Well,
way.
I mean-
you
What?
could be the podcast that every ad is a musical jingle.
Yeah.
That you created.
That
for
we
them.
like, yeah.
That's
Think
the
about
whole
it. I'm just
podcast.
saying.
It's just different jingles.
Yeah.
I'm giving you gold
For an
here.
hour.
Has Kevin ever come up with that idea?
So who are we putting in charge of misprint? No, Kevin doesn't. You know what I'm saying,
Nothing.
Phil? Sometimes it's good to change out the caboose.
I agree.
And then you realize how much faster the train used to run
It's
before
going so fast.
before you attach that that weight on it, you know?
So fast.
What about your son's band?
Yeah.
Oh.
If he's listening this early in the morning,
I know.
He's
I
not.
like that.
He's not. He doesn't listen even when it goes on to download.
he would make a cool like alternative bit. It'd be great.
I'll work on it.
All right.
He is
Paula
talented.
Celine.
Yeah, he is.
I'm
Yeah.
Not just saying that because you're married. to
Tommy's-
Tom.
Tommy's-
He's super talented.
I know. He wants to be a rock star, which is it's tough when you're like a dad and you hear your kid say that, because of course I want my kids all to be lawyers or doctors or whatever. And then Tommy's like, I want to be a rock star, and I'm like, rock stars are hungry and broke usually, you know that? Like,
Don't you get the feeling like he's the type of kid, like, even if he went for it and it didn't happen for whatever reason, he's still going to land on his feet. He's 10.
Yeah.
He's a great kid.
well, keep in mind, I didn't start law school until I was 27, 28 years old. So,
Good
like,
point.
you know, so he's got some time to,
There you
like,
go.
figure it out. And if he becomes a rock star, that's good.
Yes, sir.
That's good for all of us.
Should we get back to ads?
It's good for Lockpod, too. 'Cause,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and within budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing and sign solutions you can count on. Rick Balzenberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations in Munster and Hammond.
That's a new read. And why are you laughing at Miss Prince commercial? Like,
It's a new word too. You said commercial.
oh, okay.
I did not.
Yes, you 100% did.
Oh, I'm listening to it later. I did not hear that.
Chad,
like-
did he say commercial?
It like defeats the purpose of an ad when you're reading it and then one person's laughing at it.
Exactly. Like, what did I do? I didn't even hear myself do
Miss
that.
Print's awesome though. They're making a metal business card for me.
Are they really?
I should have it by now.
Well, that'd be fun.
For the record, I mean, whatever. I'm not complaining, Rick. At
I think
all.
they should.
I'm not
do-
complaining at all because
Right.
it's like a special thing that you're doing for me. But like, People constantly asking me for my card, and I don't have shit. I mean, but whatever,
No jingle until he gets the card.
I heard Tom actually drew a QR code on his hand just so people could go here. And it's all smudged. It doesn't even work.
Rick, can we get a new sign, too? Because sometimes this guy, the caboose, isn't always here. So we need something we can cover that up with.
No one can see that. No one can see that. There's a trophy in the way.
You covered it.
Oh, sorry.
You should leave that in here, by the way.
Yeah.
Like a background trophy.
It's been sitting in my car since French
Why don't we
Lick.
put that over where the caboose normally
It
sits?
should be here for sure.
Okay, but you can't block the lock pod.
Got it. Okay.
Because my wife gave me that.
We'll move it after this.
Okay.
Sorry, Marissa.
Good. Yeah.
Judge Marissa.
Byway Brewery is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious taproom and an outside patio. Brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private events like weddings, reunions, and corporate parties. We are conveniently located just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu.
I love Byway.
I do too.
I know I say that every time I'm here.
But you go there a lot. That's one of your normals.
I'd say at least once a week.
Really?
Wow.
At least.
What restaurant? I'm like that with a couple
Jalapenos.
You were going to say it, and then you're like,
no.
You're like, I'm not going to say it because
It feels like
it. People will chase you down.
No, it's two different times I got jacked there. It's like, honestly, like they think that they could treat people like crap. It's like, no, we're not going to sit you on a Sunday night, even though there's nobody in the goddamn restaurant. You got to wait here like a schmuck until your entire party gets here. Then we'll seat you. That's like you're doing me a favor, baby. I could go anywhere.
Yeah.
By the way, I went to a restaurant that was worse after that. And I paid happily. And it was shitty, by the way.
Did you pay
and I'm not going to
happily?
mention it. It was like, but I went to a worse restaurant, probably paid more money, and then did not enjoy myself.
He had the runs for a week, but it was worth it, jalapenos. Yeah. That's your fault.
Speaking of, I'm getting my colonoscopy tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
I'm not even sure I'm supposed to be drinking coffee for the record.
It scares me even when you start talking about it. Like, it makes me uncomfortable.
Tomorrow. That means I have to drink the barium today.
So is this a pop-up pod?
Funny you should mention that, Joe.
Oh.
We're creating a poll right now.
Oh.
Should we make a vlog about Tom's colonoscopy?
It would be a public service announcement.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good thing, right?
Absolutely.
Like, we're not going to be there when the tube goes in. I promise you.
Oh, all in or nothing. I mean,
All in
I'm thinking of the
or
people
nothing.
watching the podcast that
Literally.
thought they were going to be voting on whether or not they want to see your colonoscopy like live. Or
No,
on
you're
video.
not, dude. No, I could get like interviewed like before.
during.
Let's see. Should we make a vlog about? Oh, I'm sorry, vlog about Tom's colonoscopy. I'm gonna say no because I don't want to do that. But
Well,
the will of the audience.
I just balanced that out, though.
I'm
if
here.
you know what
I'm
I
here
mean.
for you.
Split down the middle right now, 50-50.
Well, it's because two people freaking voted, Phil and I.
No. We got 10 votes on each right now.
Well, I tell you what, if they don't want it, I don't either. But if they do, hey man, it's all for the show.
Barium is so disgusting.
Really? You had it? You've done this?
Yeah, well, not a colonoscopy, but you know how you've had
Will you
it.
just like
just
down in
drinks
barium?
It's really good for you. No, I'm joking.
Are you serious?
No, in hospitals, when you have certain tests, you have to drink barium so they can have the, whatever it is, the MRI, the X-ray, I don't know, CAT scan, I don't know what the heck it is.
I hate medical procedures. And then, like, I have this doctor in Chicago. He's like the whole body doctor. He's badass, right? And, like, I keep going back to him. He's like, dude, you have to go to the doctor, other doctors, and bring that stuff to me so that I can analyze it. Like, you just keep coming here. And
That
so,
makes
like,
sense.
now I went to the eye doctor. I got my blood test the other day. I got, like, now I'm going to get my colonoscopy. It's like,
Wow.
He's like, I need to know your prescription because it ties into everything else that's going on with
Right.
your health.
So
anyway, I'm getting old, you know?
here we are on the results. 60% say no, 40% say
What?
yes.
40.
Well, you close these out pretty quick.
No,
like,
it's still open.
It's like 80 seconds.
It's
All right,
still
we're done.
open.
Well,
Keep
all
it
right,
going.
Let's just run with it. If they don't want it, I don't either.
I
Wait,
think
did you see what
colonoscopy,
Brian
Tom, that
Miller-
just scares people. The word scares people.
But, like,
I don't wanna
honestly,
blog.
like, it is good to, like, I'm 54. No, how old am I? 52. Crap. Like, I'm losing my
Wow.
mind. I'm 52, and I haven't done it yet. And
Wow.
you're supposed to do it when you're 50. And some say even earlier.
Right.
So, like, I'm a little nervous. You know the thing about being mayor? I see a lot of people. I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people that die.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like I'm going to service every week.
Sure.
Okay,
That's
and
true.
it scares the shit out of me, man. Honestly, I see people that are my age that die. I see people that are younger than me that die. Like, I had a cousin die this past week, and it's just scary, man. Like, And the only way to make sure that you stay healthy and live the long life everybody wants to live is to, get these things done. And I hate it just like the next person. But
well, you're doing the right thing getting it. I just don't think you need to vlog about it. There doesn't need to be. I voted yes, by the way, but
you're like contradicting.
I did.
It's staying steady at 60-40, by the way.
Let's talk some Valpo float.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So anyway, John, you want to cover this one?
I could.
No, okay. Valparaiso Republican. No, I'm the one that posted. I should. Valparaiso Republican Party has a popcorn festival every year. They had one last year. I think they missed last year, but they had theirs this last weekend. And the Valparaiso Republican Party's float, something they worked hard on and thought was a really great idea, made national news over the fact that it had a depiction of the Twin Towers. And it had a plaque between the Twin Towers honoring all the people that lost their lives on that day, including the first responders. And then they decided to make it more realistic by adding flames and smoke coming from the towers when they were going down the street. And a lot of people, and there's little kids on the float, and it was just really over the top tasteless.
Nobody's going to be upset about listing the names of the people that unfortunately lost their lives during the incident, right? That makes perfect sense. In fact, when you see during parades, when people are walking down and they hold a sign up of a family member that passed, that served in a war of some kind, I think it's a very touching thing, and it's a way to remember the people and what they've done and how they served our country. But this is just insensitive. The towers with planes sticking out and smoke coming out. I mean, to me, it's like, I want to be in the room when this group is like, I got a great idea.
Yeah.
And there's people around them saying, this is absolutely a great idea.
Well, they're still doubling down. We'll cover that in a second. But so TMZ picks up the story, talk about a 9/11 memorial that misses by a mile. In an incredibly disrespectful display, a parade in Porter County, Indiana features models of the Twin Towers with smoke billowing from each, reads a story posted on Monday by the online tabloid TMZ. Also picked up the story is the London-based Daily Mail, which highlighted an area critic saying
it went international,
beyond tasteless, even without the fog machine going.
So I read too that the day before they posted a little teaser of this on their Facebook, and it was such a bad reaction in the comments they had to shut down their Facebook page.
Could I ask you a question, guys? The picture's up, and I know that a lot of people, most of our listeners are listening through Apple Pod and other means and can't see what we could see. But just picture they have two towers. It looks like they're both made of styrofoam, right, guys?
Yes.
Okay, and they're gray, and you could clearly tell that they're trying to make it to two Twin Towers. But there's also, is those airplanes in the side of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that a bird or
they look like spiders?
Airplanes or spiders, one of the two.
No, I think
is that supposed to be?
Is
that supposed to be the plane in the side of the building? Is that?
I think it's like the steel coming out or something.
I'm pretty sure it's exactly what it is.
Is that also made of popcorn?
So they this is the Popcorn Fest, by the way. It's like a happy festival. And on 9/11, they're holding this ceremony first off, which is probably tasteless in itself. Most places on 9/11 are doing 9/11 ceremonies talking about all the people that lost their lives and how brave the first responders are. And they go ahead with the popcorn parade anyway, which is their decision, okay? But then the Valparaiso Republican Party has two towers with two airplanes in the buildings and the buildings smoking on 9/11. It's like everybody knows what the hell happened on 9/11. Do we really have to recreate it?
This is disgusting.
I also read that they had these speakers on the float and they played some of the last calls that people made on the plane, which really kind of did it for me. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was in one of the articles in our thread.
In one of the links, there was video being played of the spectators of the parade, and every 10th person is like, "Why? What is this?"
You could hear the people at the parade? Oh, boy.
Literally saying, "What am I seeing? Why am I seeing this right now? Who did this?" I mean, that should be a big sign that you really screwed up here. This was a mistake.
Well, John, you said the day before they had indications that before the parade even floated,
right.
When in the parade, they had indications that it was going to be negative, right?
Right. It was so bad they had to shut down their Facebook page. But they still
isn't that a clue?
let's go with it.
We have to shut down our Facebook page, because people are so pissed off about this. Let's run this baby. Let's roll this thing on 9/11 right down the street.
Well, and we had our ceremony in Hammond on 9/11, and it was great. It was touching. We did a 21-gun salute. I mean, it was
right.
Everybody there was like, this was awesome. The flag was, well, the largest flag in Indiana, as I understand it, was out, and we were all feeling very patriotic. And that event brings you together. The more when you think about that event as a country, we came together like no other time that I can remember.
Yeah, that was a very moving event. It was really well done. Good job for everyone who put that together. But I'm going to go out on a limb, guys, and say I don't think Popcorn Fest should have happened on 9/11. I just don't. I don't understand that.
I'm not positive that the parade happened on 9/11. I know we did our 9/11 was Saturday. It probably did happen on Saturday.
Yeah, it was
right?
during Popcorn Fest.
Yeah, because that is. I think really bad. I agree with you, man. That's just a bad decision about having Popcorn Fest. Why wouldn't they do it a week earlier or a week later?
It just seems like an odd thing.
On 9/11.
And whose quote is this? This is Mike Simpson, the Republican Party chairman, that said, "I think we hit it spot on."
Talk about a weird thing to say,
I think we hit it spot on.
Spot on.
That is tone deaf, Mike. That's completely tone deaf. First off, I agree with John. Even having the popcorn parade on September 11th on a national day of mourning. I mean, it's like on Memorial Day, we're going to start having huge parties on Memorial Day, like the day where we're honoring our war dead.
Yeah.
Get 9/11, we lost 3,000 Americans that day. And we went into a war in Iraq and Afghanistan for the next 20 years because of what happened on that day. And we're like, it's really tasteless.
Yep. Doesn't make any sense. Worst float ever. I mean, I don't know. I guess he's going to have that under his resume.
Wow. Yeah. So, hey, let's move on. Last night was a great night in Hammond. And we're not going to talk about Hammond specific issues. It's just what communities are doing with the American Rescue Plan. This is a plan that passed through Congress, gave billions of dollars to the state of Indiana. I'm sure, obviously every state received similar types of amounts. Indiana has made these monies available through the congressional districts. Congressman Frank Mervan, Congressman Andre Carson were the only two federal representatives in Indiana that voted for this. I want to say thanks to both of them. Hammond's share of the American Rescue Plan money is going to be around $51 million. And last night with the Hammond City Council, the Hammond City Council approved our first phase of projects, which is about $39 million worth of work on a 9-0 vote.
It's awesome.
Whoa.
9-0.
It's not just what they approved and how much, but it's the actual projects, which I know you're going to talk about, is exactly what the American Rescue Plan was created for.
And I want to say thank you to the Hammond Council because, there's some cities in Indiana, there's some cities in America that are just going to war over this issue. And the Hammond Council and my team, obviously Phil and Kevin and everybody that put together this plan, Megan, Flores, we put together our plan. And this is only like 80% of our money. Maybe not even that. 75% of our money, $38 million of the 51 that we're getting. And we made a plan that touches on shovel-ready projects in every district of our city. And we're just trying to be as fair as possible. But we have money for lead remediation to help homeowners in properties that have excessive amounts of lead from decades of abuse over the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. A brand new firehouse, brand new residential development in Robertsdale, a brand new total reconstruction on Holman Avenue in downtown Hammond and Kennedy Avenue in downtown Hessville, $5 million for a new YMCA, a new pedestrian bridge between Hammond and Munster, $3.5 million, Oxbow Road, JF Mahoney Drive, $1.5 million between those two, $500,000 flood control project, $800,000 new residential development in Hessville, a bridge in Hessville that gets us over a perennially blocked rail crossing, Hessville, where the trains are constantly stopped and blocking traffic, $3.6 million for a new bridge there. I mean, cybersecurity updates, water tank repairs, and technology updates.
Wow.
That's just 75% of our money.
Yeah. You're touching everything.
Huge.
You're hitting pretty much every spectrum of a community of things that need to get done.
In every district.
Yep.
And, the Hammond Council, and we're not done yet, okay? And so 25% of it still has to be allocated to shovel-ready projects, but we've had these projects in the hopper for years, just didn't have the money. Well, they were ready to go. It's just I need $5 million. Well, do we have $5 million? No. Okay. So we keep it in the hopper, but the fact is, a lot of these projects probably would have never had a chance to see the light of day without the American Rescue Plan. And we are not getting caught up in this. I want to give premium pay, or I want to give bonuses to the employees. No offense. We worked hard during the pandemic, but we pay our employees well. We do. Hammond's not a place where you're going to go broke working for a living. We try to take care of our employees all the time anyway. So like most people that transfer, they transfer from other departments to us because we pay more and we have better equipment. So we're not watering down this money with like,
No.
I'm seeing that. I saw EC did that and Portage, I think.
a lot of places, Hobart.
Wow.
A lot of places. Gary just announced yesterday a lot of money from the rescue plans going into and I'm not trying to pick on anybody, okay? But none of the American Rescue Plan money is going into Hammond's general fund. None.
Think
I
about
thought that
all the
wasn't
jobs.
Was that even allowed? I thought American
It
Rescue
is.
Plan was for
It is,
infrastructure
John.
and stuff.
The way you do it, because almost every city in America experienced like revenue loss last year during the pandemic, and under the American Rescue Plan, if you could prove how much you lost, you could use that in the budget. So we lost in Hammond, what, 14 mil, Phil? Do you remember?
I think it actually came in a little higher.
Right. So
around
literally, we could take that money and put it right in the budget, John. And we've chosen not to. You know why? We want to focus on infrastructure, like good old-fashioned infrastructure, not like human infrastructure. I'm talking like bridges and streets and sidewalks and like cement pouring infrastructure.
Yep. And I think you
That's
said it already.
infrastructure. No offense to my party. That's freaking infrastructure. It's infrastructure is what we've always talked about. When we start changing the definition of things, that's when we start losing votes.
Absolutely.
It's like infrastructure is now childcare. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Childcare is a separate issue, and that's fine. We can vote on that issue. Don't call it infrastructure because it's not. Infrastructure is things you pour with cement and like high-priced laborers working on it. That's infrastructure, and that's what we're doing with our American Rescue Plan money.
And that only increases the divide too, Tom. I mean, when
Agreed,
you start
John.
changing the definition,
John, doesn't
both
that piss you
parties-
off, honestly?
100%. But,
Like,
Republicans
infrastructure
do it
is early childhood education. No.
too. Dude, that fires up the other side. I'm
Dude, it
telling you.
does, and it's stupid. Why do we do that? Why? It's like we're trying to pull a fast one on the voters. No, that's early childhood education. Let's talk about it. I do support early childhood education. Don't call it freaking infrastructure because it's not infrastructure.
Yeah.
That's how we lose votes.
Yeah.
Well, and you said it earlier. When we have openings in the city, you see a lot of employees from neighboring communities, and it's not like we're trying to go out and steal from people. They just automatically apply because we pay well, we treat our employees well. Even through COVID and everything that was going on, we treated our first responders very well.
For sure. The first responders didn't lose money during the pandemic. We didn't not work anybody. We didn't not pay. We paid everything we were supposed to pay.
Absolutely.
And okay, I'm glad you brought that up, Phil. So there's a push by one of my employees that wanted to lobby the Hammond Council about we deserve bonuses for working during the pandemic. I want to kick this guy's ass, okay? Because this guy missed 40 days of work during the pandemic, okay? And he deserves a bonus for it. And we already pay high salaries, high enough where we're getting migration from other people, other cities that want to work for us because we pay more, right? Like the other day, we hired 3 new cops. One of them's from IU, and one of them's from Gary PD, and one of them's from the Chicago PD. You ask them, why'd you come here? A, you guys got better equipment. B, it's safer. C, we pay more. You pay more.
100%.
It's so we don't need to react with bonuses and stuff. We're already setting the trend,
which is why you're able to use the infrastructure money towards actual infrastructure. How many jobs are going to be created in Hammond next year because of all these jobs that are going? And by the way, that's going to be one negative. There's going to be construction everywhere.
Right. You're right, Phil.
Everywhere.
Next year, which is a great problem. But literally, we're going to be working on Kennedy next year, Holman next year, Schneider, Mahoney, Oxbow. That's just off the top of my head. That's without even taking casino revenue or anything. That's just federal projects. We're going to crawl around the city next summer.
Talk about the Westlake.
The Westlake corridor. The whole neighborhood shut down because of the Westlake, and they're going to be going across Holman. And it's that's what people are going to be complaining about next summer. They're going to be like, I can't get anywhere in Hammond. You know why? Because we're probably doing $150 million worth of work in the city of Hammond next year. That's hard to appreciate if you're a civilian and you're not used to these big numbers. That's the biggest. That's 5 years worth of casino revenue. Actually, longer. Probably more like 7 or 8 years worth of casino revenue in 1 year.
Wow.
It's awesome.
It's in 1 year. And by the way, the year after that's going to be very similar type of year. And then it'll start slowing down. The next 2 years in the city of Hammond is going to be under construction with hundreds of millions of dollars in new investment. By the way, for you entrepreneurs out there, I'd get in now, and this is not BS. All you have to do is read and look. I mean, we're one of the focal points of the federal monies that are coming into, Indiana.
What's going to happen if they pass the infrastructure bill?
Phil, like, honestly, and that's what we were talking about at the council meeting last night.
Yeah.
The infrastructure bill, they're talking about $1 trillion. Like, oh, it's only $1 trillion. Well, $1 trillion, once it trickles down, we get probably twice as much money in an infrastructure bill to spend in Hammond than we had under ARP. Twice as much. So we could be sitting here, if Congress does their job and if the president signs it, with the $1 trillion infrastructure, cement, roads, streets, bridges, infrastructure bill. If that passes, we could be spending twice as much on great projects in a year, like literally rebuilding the city.
Yeah, and School City got, what they got, like $40 million or something like that as well. So I don't know what they're spending their money on, but God knows there could be some construction.
But, like, isn't it nice that we're fixing America instead of fixing Kabul? You know, like dumping tons of money into, you know, Afghanistan and rebuilding their countries when we should be rebuilding Gary and Kokomo and Hammond and South Bend. You know what I'm saying?
You look at this list of projects, and there's not one thing that you don't look at that doesn't make perfect sense for infrastructure. So
that's why it passed 9-0, Phil.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks. So we try not to talk about Hammond-specific issues. I think that's an issue that is bigger than Hammond, though. It's happening in Hammond.
On this one.
It's happening in Hammond, but this is something that all local cities and towns are talking about in America right now because we all have this money, and what are we going to use it on? I tell you what, in Hammond, we're using it on infrastructure.
Yes, sir.
Straight up.
Love it. So back to are we going to run to the next set of ads here?
Yeah, why don't you start?
Okay. Try Electronics. Try Electronics wants to be your complete communications provider. Try Electronics has been a leader in this industry for more than 55 years. We are dedicated to assisting our clients with their systems integration needs. We have the expertise and experience to provide superior results for a wide variety of projects. For more information, call Try Electronics today at 1-800-722-6793.
We forgot Jill Spiel. Jill Spiel.
Jill. Sometimes you got to cut us off, Jill.
Jill
Say, hey guys,
Spiel.
I'm over here.
Jill Spiel. I say it like a Southern lady. Jill Spiel.
Y'all. Hey, y'all.
Can you get in trouble for doing a Southern accent?
I don't think we're quite there yet.
I think,
maybe
honestly,
in a year or
I think
so.
I can get in trouble for doing a Southern accent.
Yeah.
So
You're making fun of hillbillies? That's what people would say. It's everybody's woke today.
Cue the banjo.
I am woke myself.
Are you?
I don't know. I'm awake.
I don't think that's the exact definition of what people are.
Okay.
Good morning.
Morning, Jill.
Hey, y'all. Y'all are
Jill
listening
Spiel.
to...
Time for Jill Spiel.
You're listening to Left of Center, where we cover everything from...
Wait.
What? Time out.
Hold on.
What's going on here?
Hold on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a
This is strange.
royalty-free banjo.
Looking for royalty-free music?
What the
Check
fuck is this?
That's not a banjo.
Thanks for interrupting the show.
No.
Oh, let me get on with
It's
this.
coming. This is not playing, by the way. On
What?
You
okay.
sure about that?
Here we go. Go ahead, Jill. Go.
You're listening to Left of Center, where we cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and in the nation. All while having way too much fun while doing it. If you can't get enough of us, follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LockPod. If you can't listen in live, you can download our episodes on the Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio apps. Just search Left of Center and look for the red and blue logo. Don't forget to subscribe and rate on every one of those applications. If you would like to advertise on our show, send an email to steve@lockpod.com.
Jill Spiel.
Thanks for Jill Spiel.
Like John couldn't
Y'all
quit
come back
laughing.
I know.
I'm sorry.
He couldn't quit laughing.
Can you?
because-
Do you think you could hear Jill Spiel in the background of the Sometimes the music's louder than we talk. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no. I had it quite low.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You're like getting good at this.
Can
It's
Eli
done.
do Misprints ad in bluegrass?
That would be great. Yes, that would be fantastic.
We need a banjo.
Grizzolia's Concrete.
Top that one.
Yeah, I
that one.
cannot. Grizzolia's Concrete was voted #1 in the Times Best of the Region in 2020 and 2021. That's right. You were thinking it wasn't going to be a repeat, but it was a repeat. Good job, Grizzolia's Concrete. Grizzolia's Concrete specializes in all of your concrete projects, and they have been using the original cement finish in the California style since 1972, and also offers stamped and colored concrete. For more information or a project quote, call Grizzolia's Concrete at 219-659-4127.
It's interesting that you sing this every time, and you sing it so perfectly, but yet Facebook never kicks us off.
I know.
Anything.
I know. Isn't it funny?
For some reason,
I
it gets
downloaded
through.
a bunch of Tupac the other day because I'm on Apple Music now, by the way.
Nice.
But I downloaded a ridiculous amount of Tupac the other day, and of course, California Style was. I had it.
California Love.
California Love, right? California Style.
It's in your head now.
It is.
Midwest Air Duct Cleaning, Marinko. At Midwest Air Duct Cleaning, your health is our #1 priority. We are dedicated to providing top-notch quality services at an affordable price. Our technicians have been trained to shelter the members of your household from potential airborne contaminants. If you would like more information on how to protect the lungs of your home, call Marinko and his team at 219-671-8868 today.
When was the last time you cleaned your air ducts, Phil?
It's been a while.
Like, what does that mean?
Never.
I agree. Right, John?
Never done it.
Never.
Jill?
Never.
I did last year.
And?
First off, they pulled an incredible amount of like dust mites and like disgusting stuff out of our vents.
Do they show it to you? They actually show you what they pulled out?
I didn't see it myself.
Oh, okay.
I could lie and say yes. I'm sure they would. Hey, Marinko, could I check out some of the dust mites you pulled out?
I think they
It's
probably
like skin particles and stuff like that.
They carry it around in the van and
They
just
do.
bring out a bag and like,
Right.
look what we
Look
grabbed.
at this. Disgusting. This was in your vents. I'll be honest, though. I'm breathing easy.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Less sneezing in the house. All right. Fair enough.
I'm always
I'll give 'em a
sneezing
call.
anyway. You should.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marinko, you got 3 new customers in here. There you
Boom.
go, kid.
I gotta tell you, I live a block from the smokestacks at BP. Like my house, that's least of my problems.
Yeah, really. At least the block vents probably block
That's not gonna
they
do
block
anything.
the smoke from getting in, right?
What if
If
we
you-
send Marinko over to BP? Let's send him over there.
Challenger Learning Center. Explore the far reaches of space and engage in hands-on learning at Challenger Learning Center of Northwest Indiana. Connecting with Challenger Northwest Indiana is easy. To learn more about Challenger Center and their upcoming events, visit clcnwi.com. That's clcnwi.com. Or connect on social media at Challenger NWI on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Dude, that was a really good read.
It was perfect.
I agree. Like, I don't hit them very often. Challenger, I just gave you your money's worth on that one.
Boom.
They pay like $5 or something ridiculously small.
You need to raise it. There's
I
a
agree, dude.
supply-demand
Like,
thing going on here.
Kellogg's just selling the whole season for nothing. They're just like mailing it in. Is he getting married like real soon?
I know it's coming up. I don't know the actual date.
I think it's literally
Very
like
soon.
this week.
Is it really?
Right?
That was a quick
Steve.
turnaround. You're looking at me like I have any kind of clue what's happening
John?
with him.
Yeah, it's like in a week.
I mean, he's our business manager. We're supposed to know this stuff.
So I don't think I was invited to anything. Should I
Same.
be concerned
It's
about
in
this?
Napa. He didn't even invite me.
Oh, is it
Wow.
really?
It's in Napa.
Unbelievable.
I freaking
Wait,
went to
Napa's
Napa
not
High
on
School.
fire?
That's a good point. No, Napa's not on fire, for
Okay.
the record. But that's a good point. It is a pretty crummy time to be going to Cali right now.
At least you should be invited because you could take him around.
Dude.
You could show him the sites.
That is
I could
so
get him, like-
offensive.
That's
I could get them a
disrespectful.
lot of stuff on the black market if they ever needed anything like that.
in
I got
Napa,
connection.
the
Hell
Napa
yeah,
black
dude.
market.
Yeah, what
What
is-
is
I went
on
to
the Napa
I went to
black
high
market?
school in Napa, man. If there is a black market in Napa, I could tap into it. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
It's like
Is that the
Get
show title?
involved, yeah.
Is that
like-
the show title?
You're like, you don't
there's
want
a-
to know where we got these grapes from.
That's right, dude. We used to like break into the vineyards, like the grape parts, and eat them when we were kids, and get sick as a dog because they spray them with all these chemicals. But seriously, I grew up around that stuff. It was funny. Like, I lived in the city part though, the dangerous part of Napa.
But you like wine. You
The
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I do.
dangerous part of Napa.
Yeah, believe it or not, where I grew up, it was a lot like the region. A lot like
Wow.
so similar type of people, similar types of like issues, similar attitudes about education. I mean, it was a really similar place. I grew up because people picture Napa and they hear I went to Napa High and they're like, "Oh, it must be nice. You must have lived in the castle or something." It's like, no, dude, I lived in a house in a rundown neighborhood with a bunch of blue collar people, and like that's how I grew up.
You were stealing grapes. You just said it a little bit ago.
You were
Weird.
delinquent.
I was not a model student. I was not. I went to the Navy for a reason. When I was 18, I went to the Navy for a reason. I needed it, and they helped me. You know. And by the way, I'd like to. You know, I'm sort of rough around the edges still. I think some would agree, right?
Absolutely.
No,
Screw
not
you,
you.
Phil.
Do we need to do another Tom versus Kevin trivia contest? soon?
Yeah.
Or what was the trivia?
That was
Yeah,
great.
that was a good
Yes.
game.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to be gone in a couple shows, so
Okay.
I know you're going to be covering me. That's a good time to
excited.
do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to offend me, I'd rather not be here.
We'll talk
You know what I'm
about
saying?
how you're rough around the edges.
I am a little rough.
That
around the
mailbag
edges.
will be a fun one when Tom's gone. Let's start
my
working on that
gosh.
now.
Yes.
I could appreciate the fact I'm rough around the edges. I'm not like your typical.
But isn't that just region? That's all of us. That's what the region's
you.
all about.
That's
We're
why
all a little rough around the
Honestly,
edges.
Phil, you know this. I didn't grow up in the region, right? but I fit in pretty well, right?
Absolutely.
100%. I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like I couldn't have picked a better part of the country to move to because it really fits my personality, like the type of people and the type of person I am. It's like I think most people when they meet me, they think I'm region 100% and I must have grown up here and all that. And it's like, no, I moved here.
That's a good point.
I moved here 25 years ago. I mean, I've been here a while, but you know.
But I really do think that's what makes the region great. I think we're all a little rough around the edges, but
I do too.
We're genuine people too. We're
very,
you know
great,
what I mean?
loyal,
straightforward.
Loyal. Like honestly, like we have our lines drawn, you know, like maybe like St. John and area doesn't love Hammond, right? And maybe sometimes like it gets a little rough. I'm just picking St. John for a reason, right? And then, but like if push comes to shove and we're all down in Indy or Southern Indiana and Hammond's getting picked on by somebody, St. John's going to be like, hey, back off, man. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like, because we're from the region. What? I feel like that. If I meet somebody from Valpo, which I consider to be the region, or meet somebody from Michigan City, which I consider to be the region, I'm like, hey, man, nice to meet you. You know, like it's a connection.
Besides the haters who are sometimes the loudest, you know, they're the ones you hear the most.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people I talk to that grew up in East Chicago, Hammond and Gary, that moved south, they still love to hear and see all the things that are happening here, the improvements, the great projects.
Especially Hammond, right?
Absolutely.
Hammond people are super loyal.
So,
yeah, but so
sure.
are you know, people that moved out of Gary, they're loyal to Gary. Like,
well, I think they want to see Gary successful and they see the challenges that are going on. Right. Because Hammond's stronger when Gary's stronger. So, yeah, 100%.
You know, Mayor Prince got a re-elect coming up next year, and I think if you talk to like I'm going to make a little controversy here, okay? I'm going to make a prediction.
Here we go.
What?
Kevin would stop you right now if he was here.
Kevin would be looking at me.
He's not here,
right
so
now.
do
Asterisk.
it.
Let's go. So honestly, Mayor Prince right now, I think if you talk to the average Gary politician, okay, people that know, even politician in the region, and say, what do you think about Mayor Prince's chance in 2 years to win re-election? They'd say, oh, he's in trouble. They're going to say things like, you know, he had that cell phone thing and, you know, obviously he's got issues with the council and all that. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm making a prediction right here. Mayor Prince will easily win re-election.
Wow.
In 2023. That's my prediction. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why. All right? First off, you know, the Hard Rock Casino. So that's my prediction straight up. And nobody could tell me that they, and I know a lot of people that I know and are friendly with me and friends of mine that are like, hey, he's going to get beat. And I'm going to say, I think you're totally underestimating the power of the incumbency. First off, it's hard to beat a mayor because he's the mayor. Okay. Mm-hmm. Secondly, he is a fully functioning Hard Rock Casino that's making money similar to our vote, which is a godsend for a city. It's a lot of extra revenue that you could use on projects, which helps make the city look better. Okay. And they're going to be at the beginning stages of this, but it's not going away. Hard Rock's going to keep making similar types of money, which is going to give Gary down the road more and more money to do things that are visible and to give people confidence like they have in Hammond right now. Mm-hmm. So Hard Rock is going to help him for the next 2 years, help him do developments that make him more electable. And the last is Gary has $100 million of American Rescue Plan money to spend.
It's a great point.
I'm telling you, for those of you that are like lining up and going to change your career to run against Mayor Prince, I'm telling you, I don't think it's possible to beat him in 2023. Straight up. That's my prediction. Mayor Tom's prediction, okay? And I'm usually pretty good at this, by the way.
I was just going to say.
I'm usually pretty good at this stuff in politics. Like, I think the word on the street is Mayor Prince is weak and he's going to struggle for re-election, and I could not disagree more. I think Mayor Prince is going to walk easily to re-election in 2023. And if that changes, I'll update. But right now, I don't think anybody could beat him.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
And that's going to piss people off, by the way.
But you're being honest. I haven't heard too many people. I haven't heard you make too many predictions that haven't come true when it comes to political, elections and things of that nature. You're not like me with NFL picks at all. It's like the exact opposite. Like if I could bet on it, I probably would because I know you know your stuff, and and you're making a lot of great points.
So anyway, I'd like to actually get Mayor Prince on as a guest here, and I'm not making that prediction to get him on as a guest, but I'd like to see him come on, and I'd like to ask him some of these questions because I think the word on the street is he's easily going to be beat, and I think that's completely naive of people that think like that. I think it's completely naive.
Well, one thing I'll be curious to see is how does the council and the mayor work together with the rescue plan dollars?
I think that was one of the best things that comes out of last night's meeting in Hammond is our council and our administration, the Hammond Council and the city administration are working hand in hand, and we approved 75% of our money already on great projects. So I think we're showing the way it's supposed to be done, and I'm not sure it's going to be like that in every city and town. So
Gary could use everybody working together, kind of head in the same direction as much as possible, because obviously they have a lot of challenges. And
so does Hammond, by the way. But Gary's challenges are far steeper and far tougher than Hammond's challenges ever were. And Hammond, we're working together, which is good for the city. And I hope that the Gary Council and the mayor do the same, because they have a chance to really turn the corner with Gary in the next couple of years and spend a couple $100 million in the city of Gary. And that's going to go a long way to making Gary look better. And we need that.
I'll be watching.
All of us do. Me too.
100%.
Well, we were talking about the gift that keeps on giving, Todd Rokita. He did it again. Let's talk a little Todd Rokita. John, this is your story, right?
Yes, sure. So here it is. It's on the screen.
Well, people aren't necessarily reading. There's some people driving to work and they can't read the story. So
I understand. I'm
Why
going
don't
to
you use your
describe
words?
it right
Like
now.
I say to my kids, use your words, John.
So Rokita has come up with his next topic. First it was the Chinese thing with Valpo, and now it's
rooting out the communist scourge in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Right, and now he's challenging a bump stock ban that actually Trump put in place during his presidency after the massacre in Vegas.
Right, the largest single
right
shooting in the history of our country. Right.
So bump stocks, for those that don't know,
right,
is it takes a semi-automatic weapon, which means you have to pull the trigger every time you fire a bullet, and it uses the recoil from that to essentially make it fully automatic. So Rokita wants these back. He wants them available to everyone. Trump banned these. He made everyone destroy them if you had them, and Rokita wants them back.
Why?
Because he's running for governor, Joe, and he wants to do. He thinks that Indiana's so dumb that he could be just completely unhinged right winger, and that they'll just vote for him like they did for Donald Trump. That's his bank. He's doing everything he can to trigger Republicans to vote for him, even though he's a walking asshole, even though he's a jackass, even though he's a totally pandering political idiot. He still thinks that people are just going to be so blind they're going to vote for him.
It's not like Indiana hasn't voted for Democratic folks before. Right. Obviously, President Obama won Indiana when
been a long time.
he ran. Right. So go ahead, Jill.
No, I was just going to say, in what situation does the average person need an automatic weapon?
Zombie apocalypse?
There you
Which
go.
could happen.
Point.
But though, I mean, honestly, it would have to be when we would actually all need automatic weapons. You're talking anarchy, the police has disbanded and there's a foreign country and invading or something. I mean, I carry a weapon myself. I have a lifetime license to carry, and I'm proud to. I like carrying my weapon. It makes me feel safe because there's a lot of weird people and a lot of people that don't like me. So having that weapon on me, it's a Glock. I never intend to even pull it off of its magnet. I never want to fire it away from a firing range. But if I have to, I know how to do it. I know where to put the bullets, and I wouldn't even hesitate if I was in a threatening type of situation to defend myself with that. Okay, so you're talking to a person that supports the Second Amendment right now. But we don't need freaking bump stocks. Bump stocks are there to kill more people. That's not there to... You don't use a bump stock to hunt. You don't use a bump stock to defend yourself. A bump stock is an offensive weapon. And that's used to kill people on people. And it's just unbelievable that this guy he's not even... doesn't even care about the ramifications of his actions. He's supposed to be a leader. There's people that look up to the Attorney General of Indiana, and this guy's just a pandering fool.
I'm not a gun guy. I've never owned one. I've shot it very few times in my life. Shot a gun very few times in my life. I support people that want to have a gun and protect themselves or family, their house or whatever. But stories like this and issues like this is what makes me crazy, because of knowing that there's people out there that want this type of weapon, at their whatever, carrying it at their house, whatever it is,
in their cars.
It makes me crazy because you're never going to need that unless. We're back to Red Dawn days, and Russia's going to invade, and we got to kill a bunch of people at once. So it doesn't make any sense.
So
why did President Trump impose this, John? I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
No,
but in response to
this, dude, that was so bad.
Yeah,
man, what happened? It was so bad.
They used what was the Mirage? No, Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay.
They used Mandalay Bay, the upper floors as a perch to kill people that were in a concert down below him with a bump stock.
He fired 1,000 rounds in 10 minutes.
Right,
because of a bump stock.
And it was the largest massacre in U.S. history. Yeah. And President Trump was president at the time, and he rightfully, one of the few things I agree with him on, he came out and said, we don't need these bump stocks. It's offensive. It's for killing other people. So President Trump does the right thing, and he gets rid of the bump stock,
Did he take a lot of heat for that, by the way, from the right wing? Did he?
Dude, I think Trump did more with gun control than even Democrat presidents. I'll be honest with you.
Really?
So, yeah, he took a lot of heat.
But when Democrats are in office, all I hear from Republicans is they're going to take our guns, even though it never happens.
They're talking about a Democrat here that I actually have a gun on me.
Absolutely.
Right.
But this is what I hear from right-wing people.
Well, you also hear that we don't support the police. And
right.
My police officers, we have a great relationship.
No, you're one of the, absolutely.
So as a general rule, I don't want any infringement on Second Amendment rights. However, and I'm going to say something that might be unpopular with fellow conservatives and unpopular with others because there's some religious angle to this, and unpopular with others because I'm going to mention someone who's pretty controversial. But I was reading this brilliant article by Milo Yiannopoulos, who honestly I think played a big part in getting Trump elected. But he said recently that when this Second Amendment stuff was written, it was for a moral populace, and that's out the window now. This is like a godless society at this point. You've got really messed up people out there who want no gun control. I just don't know that works anymore in this society. What do you guys think?
Let me tell you, man. Like I said, I was talking to a CEO from Australia about gun violence in Australia, and it's completely non-existent, John. You know why? Because there's no guns available to the general public. And it's shocking that people think this is normal, and it's not normal. It's an American problem. And we have to do something about the Second Amendment, and I'm talking about like offensive weapons, like automatic weapons. We have to do something about that kind of stuff. And even if we got rid of automatic weapons, we would still have a gun problem, but it would be safer for our police, which is who we should be really worried about. Our cops are outgunned. They're outgunned, which is crazy. The cops should be the heavily armed ones, and they're outgunned. I'm sorry, Phil. I know you wanted to talk.
No. I'm reading some of this article, and because to me, it's like, what argument are you making to the voters out there of why this bump stock is so important? And of course, they turn it to, this is a constitutional liberty. You're taking away my freedom. There's no rational argument for why you need this type of weapon.
The Constitution changes, though. That's the great thing about the Constitution.
Absolutely.
And we were talking about this at pre-show. In the U.S. Constitution, it counts African Americans as 3/5 of a person for census data. That was the original Constitution. It's written in the original version. It was amended in the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. I believe those are the ones. Or 14th, 15th, 16th. I forgot. But it was amended, and obviously, women, by the way, in the original Constitution weren't allowed to vote. I mean, there's things about the original Constitution that change. So when the Second Amendment was put in place, people had to load muskets, and it took like a minute or two to load each musket. So like when you're talking to our forefathers about weapons, they're picturing like a musket. And like if you fire a pistol, it doesn't mean what you're aiming at. That's actually where the bullet goes. The bullet could go off 3 feet to the other side because they weren't machined like they are nowadays. Nowadays, we're talking about weapons that can fire hundreds of bullets in minutes. And it's like, you can't compare it to the 1780s to 2021. I mean, things need to change. If we want to get rid of our crime problem in America, we got to look at gun control. We do. I mean, and I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment, and I believe people should have the right to defend themselves. But at the same time, I don't think that our officers should have to worry about automatic weapons with bump stocks when they're pulling a car over.
I want to hear, because it says there's a case in Utah right now. It's in front of the Supreme Court, right? They're talking about something similar. Mm-hmm. What I want to hear is, okay, constitutional liberty, I get it, freedom, but let's take that away for a second. What could you actually need this weapon for? Like, give me a real life example. What
right. They're going to say, like, somebody breaks in my house, right?
Come on.
Right?
That'd be
like you need an automatic weapon. Like chasing them out.
A gang of people break into the house. Then it's got to be like 50 people
broke
into
you're like
my
Scarface.
House. Yeah,
that's what you need. If you're Scarface, you need it, right?
It makes no sense.
Dude.
This is common sense stuff.
It is, man. But that's what I'm saying. This is how evil Todd Rokita is. And I'm not even bullshitting, okay? He's an evil person. He's playing on people's fears and their emotions, all for one reason, because he wants to be Indiana's next governor. This guy is evil. If he becomes governor, honest to God, I would have to consider moving out of the state of Indiana. If that asshat ever took over, he is the worst of the worst. Even his own party drew him out of his freaking district. And this guy's running for governor right now, and he's campaigning hard, and he's doing things that he thinks are going to help him get elected governor. Not because they're good for Hoosiers, because he wants to get elected governor. And he's sitting in the AG chair playing politics. And it should be called out. It shouldn't just be on Lockpod. This guy should be called out. It's bullcrap what's going on.
The last two big stories, this one and the Valparaiso, China conspiracy, are just this is some of the most ridiculous
It's
stuff.
like red meat for conservatives. He's just going after it. It doesn't make sense. There's so many more things that AG could focus on other than the communist plague in Valparaiso. Get the hell out of here.
I saw, I think it was Bill Maher that said, if a headline sounds like it could be a headline in The Onion, that's a bad sign.
Agree.
You know what I mean?
Agree.
And like, we're going after Valparaiso University because China is, infiltrating our country or whatever. I mean, this is just
Bill
onion
Maher,
stuff.
He's so brilliant sometimes, man. I mean, he does
I'm a
not.
fan.
But who would, honestly, let's look at this. This headline says Rokita takes aim at Trump ban on firearm bump stocks. It could say Rokita wants to eliminate bump stock ban. Like, what the hell? What kind of politician does that? I think more people should have automatic weapons, is what he's saying. Mm-hmm. This is not good for Indiana. This is not, this is not infringing on people's Second Amendment rights. This is trying to limit the carnage on our streets. People dying we had a young man in the city of Indianapolis, a Hammond student, great young man, worked his way through Morton High School, goes down. He's also a football player, but he was at University of Indianapolis on an academic scholarship, gets gunned down on the street. We still haven't found the guy. And it's like, we have these tragedies happening all the time, and Rokita's out there playing politics, trying to get bump stocks allowed again. Are you kidding me? This guy is tone deaf, and he's evil, man. I'm telling you. He's evil. He's the type of person, if he gets in a position of power, like the governor's office, that's not good for Indiana at all.
I agree 100%. I think we've got to get back to having more politicians that are common sense people, that are talking to us like, here's why this is important. Here's why I'm supporting it. Not, I want to get rid of bump stocks because of constitutional freedom.
Yeah.
It's just
because
ridiculous.
I want more like Republicans that don't, more like crazy right wingers vote for me.
That's all he's doing. He needs votes. He knows by doing this. He knows by doing the China thing with Valparaiso, it's going to get him more votes in Indiana. It's just ridiculous.
But it's like, again, like what I was saying about what Milo was saying is, why are we here talking about banning or unbanning bump stocks? Why is a guy in Mandalay Bay shooting people at a concert below? Why are these problems happening? Like in a society, unless there's
why are we talking about it, John? Answer the question.
Unless there's a fundamental, there could be a million reasons.
Why is Rokita pushing this, John?
No, I'm not talking about Rokita. I'm talking about, why are we talking about gun control in general? There's like this evilness in society now where we've got a gun problem.
John, I told you, we had a young man playing basketball in front of his house on July 3rd, a few 4th of Julys ago, and he got hit from a bullet falling from the sky in the middle of the day. Some jackass, probably in another city, fired their gun in the air, and the bullet unfortunately landed on Noah's head and killed him. Okay? So we go to the State House the next year and float a bill that says, if you fire a weapon in the air in Indiana, it's a felony. If you fire the weapon in the air, like, boom, where do you think that bullet's going to go? It's going to come back down, right? And they didn't even give us a hearing in Indiana. The supermajority, the Republican supermajority, didn't give us a hearing on that bill, John. Why? Because we don't want to be weak on the Second Amendment.
Nuts.
You were infringing on their constitutional freedom.
That's right.
Why.
We have the right to fire bullets in the air.
Absolutely.
And then, by the way, these bullets magically go into orbit. They never come back down, right?
If that law is as exactly as you're describing, that
John.
is insane that did not pass.
It didn't get a hearing,
That
John.
is totally
It
insane.
didn't get a hearing, John.
Yeah.
It didn't get a hearing.
Yeah.
They didn't even debate it. And a kid died. Like a 15-year-old kid, a nice little kid, died. And they didn't give a shit.
Our political system is really...
It's not everywhere. In Indiana, it's broken because they gerrymandered a state. They have a supermajority, and they could care less what Democrats feel or think about any issue. They don't even care.
Yeah,
They're about to do it again, by the way.
Well, it doesn't... Whatever Democrats suggest, Republicans shoot it down. Whatever Republicans suggest. I mean, there's the few people in between that actually cross the aisle and actually make good decisions for our country. But we're so divided as a country right now.
Yeah, we are. But and where we are at as society, Phil, like you said, I don't think it's too much to ask to say, you know what, you want a gun? Take a class. Just like, fulfill 10 hours of training, whatever it is. I don't think that's that big of a deal to know how to shoot a freaking gun.
Right. I bought a gun for the first time. Nobody taught me anything. The cops taught me. I went because I was a mayor.
But you train all the time.
Oh, I do.
I'm
good at it now.
Right.
Because you're responsible, Tom.
And I'm level-headed. And if I was in a situation I had to pull that gun off the magnet, it would be off the magnet, and I know how to use it. And I would. If my life was in danger, I would. If my family's life was in danger, no doubt. I'm a freaking military man. I wouldn't even freaking flinch if it was the right situation.
Yep.
But anyway, before we get going, I just want to again point out Todd Rokita is such an asshole. His own party gerrymandered him out of his district when he was a congressman. That's how much of an asshole he is. His own party. Facts. If you don't believe me, look it up. 10 years ago, they drew him out of his district. That's how much of an asshole he is. And this guy's running for governor right now. So
I'd say...
How do you feel, Tom? How do you really feel?
He's literally one of the most evil people in government I've ever met, Todd Rokita. He's one of the most evil, cold-hearted, non-caring people I've ever met. And this guy's attorney general.
And this is a setup for run for governor. That's what you're saying.
There's no doubt about it.
The China stuff, the bump stock stuff, it's all. He's red meat trying to get conservative Trump voters to vote for him. That's all he's trying.
The question is, when he runs for governor, whoever runs against him, if you're out there talking to people and looking them in the eye and say, look, we don't need bump stocks. We're not taking your guns away. You can have guns, but we don't need these. I would hope that majority of people out there using common sense would say, you're right. We don't need this.
Well, he wouldn't. So.
Well, not Todd Rokita.
I don't.
I know.
Anyway, guys, we should probably wrap up. We've been going a while now, and I wanted to say thanks to Phil for filling in for Kevin Smith. We missed you, Kev, but it was a damn good show without you. I do have to point out. Phil is next to his trophy for his foot golf championship of French Lick. Thank you, Jill. It's great to see you again, Jill. I'll see you again. So you're doing Tuesdays, I hear, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the word on the street.
You're doing Tuesdays, and the LMP is doing Fridays. It's great to see you. Thanks for filling in again. And Nevez, awesome.
Yeah.
The general word on the street is everybody heard the Tortillas Nuevo Leon.
That, and I got to be honest, I think I probably lost some conservative fans today with some of my things I said.
Fans.
Don't worry about that. Just say what you really feel.
You have fans? I didn't
Period.
real that. I'm going to have to check this out.
I have a cult following on this show, man. It's
it
like
is
one person,
but it's literally a cult, though.
It's a cult.
And from the Locomotive, thanks for listening to Lock Pod. We'll be back on Friday with LMP and more shenanigans. And hopefully Todd Rokita doesn't listen to our show. Take care, everybody.
Definitely doesn't listen to the show.